Hello, another day, another cookie. These are gingerbread cookies, and I'm doing a little cookie series, I guess, because I've been making cookies this Christmas season about every week to give away mostly to our delivery drivers, but at the end of this, we should have some leftovers that we can bring to our Christmas celebration. First, I'm getting all of my wet ingredients and my sugars into a bowl. Instead of brown sugar, I just use a mixture of sugar and molasses, and I don't bother to mix it up ahead of time because it's all going to get mixed. This recipe also calls for some molasses though, since it's a gingerbread cookie, which these are my favorite. I love these. And they are also dairy-free and gluten-free, so I can eat these without cheating and maybe feeling a little sick. So I have my eggs, my oil, and my sugar and molasses in this bowl. I started out thinking I would mix my dry ingredients separately, but then I thought, you know what, I just want to do this in one bowl. So I switched back to my wet ingredients bowl and just piled it on top. This I was doing in the morning while the kids were eating breakfast, maybe, just like really first thing in the morning. We were going somewhere this day, but I knew I wanted to get some cookies made because we were out and the mail was going to come. And we've just been putting like a couple cookies in a little bag, and the mail carrier is just getting cookies every time we see him. So it's a lot. Here's all my dry ingredients. I can link this recipe because I did get it online from my favorite gluten-free recipe source, Loopy Whisk. I just use pumpkin spice whenever it calls for those kind of spices because it's already mixed. And I am using ginger as well. If you've watched me make other gluten-free baked goods in the past, you've probably heard me say this before, but it is my favorite thing about gluten-free, and that is that you cannot overmix it and have your cookies be tough. You can mix all you want, and I find that takes a little bit of a level of stress away from baking. As is typical with gluten-free baking, the batter is quite wet, so it is much easier to work with if it's refrigerated. These didn't get a lot of time in the refrigerator, but they did get enough to make it easier for me to roll them. This sugar has some spent vanilla bean pods in it that's been kind of sitting in, so I thought that'd be a nice thing to roll my ginger cookies in. A little bit of extra vanilla flavor on the outside. So I'm just gonna get all these rolled up into this my smallest cookie scoop, tossed in the sugar, and then I'll put the first tray in the refrigerator while I work on making the rest of these into balls. I'm just gonna bake one tray this morning so they're ready to go, and then I can do the rest when I get back home because we are going out for the day. With all these cookies and treats, tune in next time for Rice Krispie treats. I keep them in the freezer, and I just keep a couple bags made up to hand out, and the rest of it just stays in the freezer so that everything is fresh and not just getting stale sitting in little bags in case they don't get handed out quick enough. So I'm gonna bake these at 350, and I baked them for 9 minutes, and they were perfect. They need to sit on the tray for a few minutes or they'll fall apart when you try and move them. But after 5 minutes or so, they slide right off. These are a delicious cakey cookie. I like to dip them in coconut whipped cream. Regular whipped cream would be just as delicious. See you next time. Thank you for being here. I hope you're having a great holiday season.